Imagine you're a space traveler, sent across the stars to report on a newly discovered planet. When you get there, you learn the planet is populated by beings that closely resemble humans, and that they have developed sophisticated social structures, including nations and representative governments. You land your spacecraft in the middle of one of the larger countries and begin your research. Through interviews with the local population, you learn that that nation has two major political parties who oppose each other on virtually every conceivable issue. You represent these two parties in your notes as two circles. Then you learn that one of these groups supports and promotes murdering their own children, and that the other party opposes this. You are shocked by this and ask for verification. It's true, you're told. The one group supports and even promotes the deliberate, targeted killing of children as a matter of party policy, and the other group opposes it. At that point, that's all you know about these two groups. Now I have a question for you, and I hope you'll pause this video and think about it until you're able to give yourself an honest answer. For our success or failure as individuals and nations depends on how willing we are to tell ourselves the truth. So here's the question. Given that you know only those two things about those two groups of people, that the one group supports and promotes murdering children and the other opposes it, which of these two groups would you say is more likely to lie to you to get you to vote for them? In the United States, we have a political party that actually, literally, supports and promotes tearing the arms, legs, and heads off of human children for money or convenience. They put it in their party platform. They say they want to ensure that it continues, without restriction, forever. When they have the power to do so, they pressure other countries to legalize such activity as well. They tell people it is a fundamental human right, and they often take to the streets, fists raised, chanting for society's continued permission to kill their own children. And tens of millions of Americans vote for them every chance they get. Most of those tens of millions will object to my description of what they're voting for, saying that we're talking about fetuses or embryos, not children. They should look up the definition of the word child in any dictionary, for it means merely offspring, regardless of age. Those on the political left euphemistically call this child murder abortion, so that few people will be likely to make an emotional connection between the words they are using and the atrocity they are actually talking about. They say it isn't murder, or that they only support allowing it, not actually doing it. They say he or she is not a child, not a human life, not aware, not important, not a person, or not a citizen entitled to protection under our laws. But those who say such things are all in that left-hand group, the group you hopefully have already realized is more likely to lie. Now the reason I bring all this up is to point something out. It should be obvious that, although it is possible for both groups to be wrong about what they believe, it is logically impossible for both of them to be correct. Because they believe foundationally contradictory things, at least one of them must be wrong. And yet the majority of those in each group sincerely believe their position to be morally superior to the other. How can this be? How can so many millions of people be so spectacularly, unmovably wrong? Here's the answer. At some point in their lives, the members of the left-hand group decided that people who support and promote killing children are the good guys. Then they installed these people into their lives as trusted advisors, and in many cases, their only source of information about those who oppose them. These people generally believe themselves to be sophisticated, enlightened, even heroic. But this child murder they support is the worst tyranny and oppression available to humans, for it takes literally everything from the only ones among us who are both completely innocent and completely defenseless. If you are on the left, you have missed an invincible fact of life, which is that people who knowingly support and promote tearing the arms, legs, and heads off of human children can never, ever, ever be the good guys. But wait, you may object. Those two facts mentioned before aren't the only things we know about these two groups in the United States. If you are on the left, I submit that those may actually be the only things you really know. Think about it. What would prevent people who have already rationalized the grisly murder of tens of millions of babies from lying to get your vote? All of the simplistic, bigoted, evil things the left believes they know about those on the right? Well, they were told those things by those on the left. People so profoundly self-deluded, they call themselves child advocates, while at the same time supporting mass child murder. But anyone who trusts people who supports child murder for information about those who oppose them is a fool or a fiend. Ask yourself, aside from a fear of being found out, what possible reason could such people have for telling the truth when a lie would be more convenient? Why wouldn't they lie, either to themselves, to others, or even to you? It's something worth thinking about.